Hey, hey. Good evening, America. How are you? Please stand by. It's Friday, July 9th, part 3 of the 30 Days of Darkness. This is Michael Anthony. We are 10 o'clock talks. Thank you for joining us. Wow, what a day today. What a day. Ugly, gloom and doom, sun and dim and rain. Just doesn't end. Doesn't end in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But hello, everyone, everywhere, wherever you are. I appreciate you guys when you stop, check out the show a little bit. Yeah. And don't forget to just keep in mind when or if you come across anything that says Studio 10 Broadcasting, that is us right here. And this segment of it is 10 o'clock talks. It's Friday. Get angry. Wow, angry. We are angered by much, by so much. Which brings me to this question: the American Rescue. What is it? Where is it? And when will it start? I haven't seen anything start. I haven't really seen anything better come from it. I see negativity. I see border issues. I see Antifa. I see Black Lives Matter. I see CRT. I see HST. And I see ongoing issues that they support like this. It is no longer the White House. It is the Black House. It just doesn't make sense. It's not even honorable. It's not even a way of honorment to the White House, the People's House of the United States of America. But here we are in this dilemma and this huge narrative that never ends. Congrats to everybody for your posts. They've been wonderful. Everything you share to me, again, thank you for that. Special congratulations to Beth, who's now an award-winning property manager specialist, and she's at a party tonight. So anyway, just wanted to say hello to her and her Southwest PA biker friends. Thank you guys for always the support and joining in, and look forward to bigger and better things to come. I promise you, nothing has changed. Anyway, once again, I am Michael Anthony. The Blaze Grill. So my family went there last night, and I'm glad that they did. This is somebody I was supporting up here in Pennsylvania, Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. They are rock stars down there, and I hear the steaks are killer, and I don't mean that literally. I mean, yeah, they are supposedly that good. So if you're in the neighborhood of Carnegie, Bridgeville, and so on, Heidelberg, check in to the Blaze Grill. Really good place to eat. Really good place to eat. Anyway, go a little further here. Where are we with all this going down? We're everywhere. We're all over the board. And earlier today, I did a 2-hour call-in to Boogie with the Bulls. Mr. David Glovin invited me in for a couple hours, and we just sat and chat and had a lot of conversation about a lot of things. So some of this to me tonight's going to be like, I already did this stuff already, but the truth of the matter is, it is what it is that way. But this is, again, Friday night, and let's look forward to a healthy weekend, a recovering weekend. But if it takes, a few drinks to get there, give yourself all the reason to do that, because in America, we do deserve to have life, liberty, and justice for all. And you'll find that here. You will find that here. All right. Let me find out how I want to kick this off and start for you guys, because I had a lot of stuff written down. I make notes and so forth, and I talk about this, that, and the other. So I'll just go through some of these things here that I have written down. One of the things that kind of like got to me today was more talk on the First Amendment, and yeah, I want you guys to know something. This, because it comes from, the strength of Trump, doesn't mean it's going to be a slam dunk. What will create pressure is your support, and support from anybody who has been suppressed or illegally criticized and more. You get the drift. And jump aboard in this class action. It's named that so you can jump in. And anybody that has been, not judged properly or appropriately, thrown off of the book and other social media platforms, such as Google and YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Jump in where it matters here, because there is an element of support now started from President Trump. And that's good, because what we have been up against are the bullies of this one side social media of the left. And that's exactly what they are. They claim the right to censor us, to make up laws and truths as we know as it goes. And these are all just narratives and parts and bits and pieces of the Congress leftist flunkies. And we need to stand up to them face to face. And all it takes is your name on the list in this class action suit. The more, the merrier, because the problem is that big, and strength is in numbers. Strength in itself will be one of the greatest supportive measures that will help this litigation move forward in the direction that we want to see it go. So protect yourself for the ill fates that they have put upon you, the social anxieties they created on you. Make them answer for this, and make them work hard at answering all of it. So with that, you have the control and how the truth can work and how you can prevail. Stand by President Donald J. Trump. He will stand by you. You're not alone. We all have opinions, and mine is this: fight hard, fight back, fight now. We must win. Well, I hope you liked that little opening, and I hope you understand where I was coming from with it. And truthfully, it's not going to be a slam dunk. There's always more to every story, as we find out, or more comes out from everything that we find out about. But this is a good start for us. It puts us in the same kind of categories of some of these 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 states where, the third of that certain month comes up, where in the midnight hours, a lot of swing things started to happen. And this is part of the reasons why we need to remain strong and healthy through this. We need answers. We need them now, and things are going our way, and it's going to be nuclear. And as it is, there's going to be a fight. They're going to push back. They're going to come at us. What's to come next? Only one can imagine. I could foresee what I think would happen, and it just won't be a continuance of where we're at. By all means, it'll be added narratives and thoughts and so forth. Like now, where things are coming at that pronouns and just in speaking to people can be an error of judgment on your behalf. And now professors have stepped up and said that there is proper grammar that needs to be addressed now. Otherwise, it remains and will remain racist. Okay, and then you have the touching of the food issues now, where certain foods are more white. We all have our own ethnic culture foods. When you bring food to a table, let's face it. I've said it before. It heals all wounds in many ways. People are always willing to sit at that table, but they're attacking French foods. I know I said this before. but it's coming out a little stronger and with a little bit more meaning. Although I don't get it all, I get where they're at. It comes down to equality in many ways and people's ideologies and beliefs. And it's not our fault when it comes to certain beliefs of the ideologies of these uh, so called people of groups in America who are pushing their narrative to destruct, destroy, and more, and remove and replace. And, all these things could be done and judged differently if people got together willfully and just discussed them as normal human beings. But when your own government can never get together on either side and meet in the middle anywhere, then this is where you're at in America. And we know that they're well supported, these organizations, and they're taught simple facts of where and how they should proceed with things. We know they're backed, and we know that there are people responsible for their actions and how they act and what they destroy and more, as well as lives and take lives, because they've done it, they did it, and they probably will more. And I would assume as we get some more of the results coming out of Arrow and George and all these other places and PA, you're going to start seeing a lot more active participation from these so-called good groups of the left. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I don't know if anybody heard about this, but I'm kind of curious about this one topic. For no apparent reason, 3 people get shot at a country club on the golf course. Don't know all about it yet, but I am going to get to the bottom of it because there's just too much going on that ties into everything in America that we're living through. And but it did happen. It did happen. One of the fellows I know for certain died. He did pass away. Again, we don't know where this is all going or why, but it seems all that it took place around the same amount and space and time of the incident in Haiti, where the president of Haiti was shot and killed and undermined, and these actors, which is said to be part of the DEA, spoke part Spanish, part English, were actually the actors involved. People we do know have been arrested, and more has happened outside of that. We know that this president had American friends, so-called, such as the Clintons and more. And there's probably things that always make sense to us in our minds because narratives push everything on one side, and it seems that when it comes down to push and shove, they're not afraid to use their power or their resources of money. It just never ends. It never does. But both incidents, very close in the same time sequences and so on. And it just makes me wonder on that part there. More's coming out daily on what has actually taken place down there at the private residency of the president. Again, like I said, there are some arrests and some other things had happened. We know that the First Lady of the country of Haiti was injured and that she was transported to a hospital in Miami for further treatments and so forth. I'm sure under the circumstances right now, things are probably quiet. And her health would be most important, but she should speak on this. And she really should speak on this and let the united people of the globe, because we are all united in this globe right now, because we are all equal of the same issue of narrative and the New World Order takeover that's being pushed on us. And hopefully her words can enlighten us to anything that we need to know to push forward in this. I also want to talk about what I call marketing shrinking inflation. Shrinkflations. Some might know what that is. Maybe not everybody, but that's okay. Shrinkflation, I brought up the other day, and I've seen a lot more of it, and this really irritates me. I get irritated by this because they're taking from us, the public. Yeah, I know every business has to try to survive. But instead of raising their prices, we'll just keep shrinking the amount. I mean, I remember when a gallon of ice cream looked like a gallon of, I mean, everything is shrinking. The boxes of crackers and the liquid amounts. I mean, just everything and a lot of ways, especially in the dry food product aisles. You're going to see that the ounce weights have been reduced. The potato chips weight, they're just blowing them more with nitrogen in them to keep the bag stay fresh element. Yeah, so, it's all that and more. All the while, in the United States, we are even suffering harder. The farmers, especially, where they're being threatened to give up their crops, paid handsomely for. But the farmers, we need them to stand with us and not sell to them and make a little less. The problem with that is, though, anything that the government would normally do for farmers to grow products and so forth, because it has something to do with, us, the people of the world, our supply chain, they're not going to assist them anymore. So if they choose to keep it and sell it outright, they're going to have it tougher and tougher every year for planting season as it comes around. So, how do we stand up to this? Well, they're destroying the crop anyway. I mean, so what's to happen next year if this plan's already going to be starting to work, or if it isn't already working in some ways? Because I have seen it in water supplies already. I really have. I went to several stores. I mentioned this, and I think it's important to mention it again. If we were under some type of attacking, which seems to be in the United States and a very large scale, supposedly. But if that was to occur and the water lines got hacked and the pumping systems, whatever, I don't know how all of them work. You think it'd be as easy as flicking a switch, it powers up the place. But no, everything runs off computer because there's computer chemicals now. So much goes into so many thousands of gallons of water, et cetera, et cetera. But if we were to lose these things, then where are we? Shortage supplies, and they're depleting the water systems. And I've mentioned that repeatedly because it's worth mentioning that they are actually draining the water system into the ocean. Look into it, research it. You'll find out that it is going on, and they're claiming it's for the betterment of the fish population of a different food chain for us, which makes no sense because that fresh water would do nothing in salt water. It does nothing. The minute you put the two together, there's no chain reaction of anything. It becomes one. Salt water. Unusable. And it's supposed to, or we're supposed to just keep in our mind that it's going to help this. It's not going to clean up the ocean. Start restoring the reefs. If you want to do things, be active, do it the smart way. But we don't live in a smart America anymore. We're being controlled by some puppets up in the dark house, up in the black house up Washington, D.C., which I now call it, because that's exactly what it is. So the shit shows continue from those guys, of course. And you have this shrinkflation of products, more money from you in ways, sometimes equal of money, but less by volume, for sure. So they will keep the take from you to stretch it out to get more money on the retail end. And let's face it, one of the things that we know in life that does work, sometimes better, is how you sell a product. It's not by selling one, it's selling by volume. So volume brings in more dollars, no matter how you look at it. It just works that way, especially in the marketing industry, the way it's ran now. We know that is true. All right, so now the fair tactic in the United States of America, as I've talked about this the last couple weeks, what we are up against is something of 0.08%. They call it the Delta variant. It's causing catastrophic ailments and effects. And I would say the narrative videos that we're being fed are probably just shop-cropped and created. What we do know about it and the numbers, it wouldn't really harm a fly. Yes, can you have some type of issue with this? Sure you can. Someone can. It works that way in life, and we've lived through it. I've lived it the last 62 years. So that's what you have. That's how you have it. But I got a new name for it. I'm thinking about the American variant scandemic. And why not? It seems that it's just a narration of a narrative to place fear, but you can call it Delta if you like. That's fine. I'll leave it up to you. Delta has made good headway there as far as that name being the successor for this new fear factor. So I'm going to call it my American variant, and some will call it the Delta variant, but it all says this. The FDA already reports it's everywhere. If it's everywhere, how's it getting everywhere? How are they contaminating us, not just with the hit in the arm, which is a total contaminant, as we know also, but how are they getting us everywhere? How did it just show up? How does it show up everywhere unless you have a mass system capable of spreading this? So look up in the skies. Look up in the skies. I don't know what else to say. How does it get everywhere like that? It just doesn't make sense to me. We know droplets can travel so far. We've been taught all these great lies by Dr. the Fauci himself. But the truth of the matter is, we also know that masks truly don't work. Even if you put on 2 or 3 and make an ass out of yourself, as he has in front of us all. And he may have even said to wear him in the swimming pool. He has said some real stupid shit to us. And here, I don't blame him for it, actually. His wife was part of this whole system, too. And people don't know who he's married to. So if you connect the dots and look up who his wife is and where she worked, you'll find out it could have very well been her idea and her input. Her input. So, all right. Anyway, protect yourself, eat well, buy healthy, and do the best you can now to start putting things away on the shelves. It seems very feasible that you'll need to do that. Yeah. So anyway, what do we have here in America that's making the American rescue so freaking great? We have missiles flying over our U.S. embassies in some places. We have fires and bombings, explosions, and gas ruptures in the ocean. Fire in the ocean. Seems almost impossible, doesn't it? Seems almost impossible. And there is some biblical words on things of that nature when they happen. So it almost seems like everything they do is to have some type of biblical characteristic to an event. And they do this shit. And it's laughable, but it's true. It really is. You have killings going on everywhere. Chicago is a freaking nightmare. The Bronx, Portland is still no better. I've seen some videos a ways back up in Portland, and it looked like Traderville Nation. I mean, and not in a good way. I've seen campgrounds have a better appeal and a look than what I've seen going through some rides with people just doing some FaceTime, Twitter-related videos and so forth of how deplorable it is. And we even have that here in Pittsburgh. We have people homeless, and they live in these little combine areas that they create for themselves, and defecation everywhere, just the dirtiest of dirt that you could ever imagine, and they're used to it, these people, and they just live that way. And what it doesn't attract goodness by any means. No, it attracts do-gooders. No, by no means. They're not do-gooders. They're the do-worsers. They will disrupt and create narratives and steal from the neighborhood. They're the pedophiles of the thievery out there, So you could be possibly under attack in many ways because it's not getting any better. The police are standing down further and standing back further and just allowing issues to occur. And I'm not saying that all police are doing it or all circumstances does that happen and fall under. But it is of great importance that we realize that it is still occurring and that we stay strong to this and oppose it. Just the same as we oppose these cartoons that they're now releasing and trying to release more into the schools. It's just nuts where we are. But, I came across some things, and I'm all for the children. Ever so strong. I pushed keep the children safe since day one on this. And now we're in a transition period of we must get your child. We will knock on your door. And that's an interesting topic in itself, too. We're coming to your neighborhood. Or, like some of them country boys say, we're coming to your city. But what we have here is this the truth of the matter? And what legal ramifications will they have when they're at your home if you're stupid enough to open the door? So don't be stupid enough to open your door from any cars that are not marked properly. And even if they are, you may still want to just avoid them because they're here not to try to talk to you. They're here because they want to give you the contaminant. They want you to be part of the lab rat system that's in the United States of America. And yes, the globe is fighting this whole entire issue the same way. And we've seen cop beatings over it and everything else up in Holland and Australia, same type of things. If you open your mouth, you're beat. Yeah, it's at that point. So America's not that bad. We still have a grasp on things. But it makes me just wonder, are they truly just going to knock on our door to talk to someone? Or are they possibly going to even consider the possibility of questioning, do you have guns? Or maybe possibly other things. I don't think the narrative for them to come and knock on your door, come to your neighborhood, come to your city, as Veggie Biden has stated. But could it be something bigger and something worse? Don't get caught with your pants down. Don't get caught. Stay smart to this. We don't know the true or what's true behind all of this. It could be more, and you don't want to be put in that spot. Someone comes to your door, you better just not answer it, and that's probably the best thing you can do. At this point, we don't know enough, and they have no right actually. And does HIPAA protect you? No. And let's get into one further thing. This was done by an executive emergency order to contaminate. Okay? And I'm sorry, Mr. President. I'm going to call it the way I see it with what I know. Because there's nothing on one side that even you, sir, and who I respect, say the shot's good. Okay. But on the other hand, I have many, many more people who will fight that. And why? For one, what we know the effects are in the human body, the trigger points, and we know we can reflect back by them to find out and analyze what is causing it. And of course, it's the contaminants. So attack the children more, create more issues on those guys, sure. But that's not where I'm going with this. This emergency's over, wouldn't you say? It's over. What gives them the right to continue it? When does it end? In 10 years or 20 years? Just like the 9/11 issue, which was probably another recreation of what has happened in America, of a narrative to hide and suppress and divert your mind of thinking about other narratives that they needed you to switch mind chains to. Part of their whole mission on everything that they do. Think about it. It's true. It's facts. So when you come down to all this, again, I will ask you where we are right now in our United States of America. Are we truly under a pandemic? One could even ask himself, did we ever have this pandemic now knowing what we do know? And again, Mr. President, I'm only saying this with respect to you. People deserve to know everything. And that's not a push comment towards you. It is respect. Do what you need to do, and we'll make our decisions, rash or not, as to how we see fit. And you even, at some point, had pointed out that people will get it and some won't. And I appreciate that narrative. I really do. Because that's where I am in the middle of this here. Is this still an emergency? Should it just be shut off? It makes you wonder. It seems like it's gone away. But yet, wait, this fall, it's going to be disastrous. And already, it's being reported that this new Delta, the American variant, is everywhere in the United States on the attack. I reported on some things. I think it was down maybe possibly Kansas. that part of their suburban areas were under a very heavy, some type of attack of sickness. Again, was it a true uh, information source that I found? I think I did my homework, but it was released to be, as I just said to you, that things are out there. I don't know what this is. I'm not going to lie about it. But when you look at the statistics and you do the math and what it comes down to and where we are at the bottom line, it's less lethal than the flu itself. You're more likely to get a stomach flu every 3 years than you will catch this. So anyway, yeah, I say we're not in an emergency management type of circumstance no more. Why don't they quit? I guess we're going to have to fight that in court as well. And that's part of where we are in America, because they're not done with the program. They didn't succeed in the numbers that they were looking for to do whatever their next part of the narrative is. And I could give that to you in big, huge ways. Are you prepared for it? I don't know, but we'll slowly break it and drip it out to you and give it the best way to the Americans of the Americas, the best way I can. And I always do that. I really do make you guys come first at everything. So I have good news on Pennsylvania for the PA people. It seems that the unemployment releases have started. They really have. Some people haven't got their unemployment. Some people deserve it. Many haven't deserved it. I get that, you know. I was one of the ones saying, why won't you guys work? Well, because Joe was making sure once he stayed in office and got in office that he was going to keep people at home. He's been on a destruction path to kill America, to kill the pipeline, which they have a $15 billion lawsuit on the Keystone Pipeline against Biden administration, in case you didn't know that part. But where we are is how it is. Now, you have this repo up there for Pennsylvania again. He's a Republican, Doug Mastriano. I always say his name wrong, but don't worry about that part. Let's just say Mr. Doug. He's a PA rep in the Republican Party, and he's asked many counties to hand over all their ballots and election equipment to now move forward to keep the pressure on and why the concerns are of the 3rd and 4th and what had happened and what I will call the STS movement. And it is now growing, okay? Now, I'm sure you'll be able to put that together. I'm just trying to watch myself here. Remember, I am in 30 days of house arrest of darkness, placed by the Honorable Judge Mark Zuckerberg and his clientele of geniuses out there that they hire to, and I don't even know why, actually. Maybe it's not even I'm not totally shut down. And there's always another way around things. As you can see, I'm doing it. But when I come back, please look forward to seeing Studio 10 Broadcasting, and we plan to take it to an entirely new level, and I hope you'll enjoy it. And this isn't so bad. This little thing where you don't see me right now, but you hear me, it's not so bad. It really isn't. The point is that we are staying in touch, and I'm getting everything out there that I can that makes sense to you guys. One of the other things that I do want to talk about is these arguments that are coming up about multisexual and new transgender sexual things. And here's the issue now. Here's the issue that's occurring. It seems these people who claim, all they have to do is claim that they're female, could go and start waving their shit around in people's faces, and that's what's going on in America. You're getting these perverts who can make claim to anything. And understand something. I'm not jumping on transgenderism here. This may be an ailment, or it may be a psychological thing, or it could be just that somebody needs to come out of the closet to say, hey, this is what I am. Well, fine, go do what you want to do. But look how the perverts and these people who do sexual assaults, all for a whole different reason, are really doing what they're doing. You don't come into a ladies' room, just start waving your stuff around. No, it doesn't work that way. But this is what is happening. And yet they get support from some of these groups who come and protect them and then destroy the honest to good protesters who come peacefully to stand there and just state their case and let the world know and the public in their community know that nonsense like this is occurring inside some of these spas and other areas that they go to. So we have to look out for these women, and we have to look out for all children. Doesn't matter what color, what size they are. Protect, protect, protect. Stand strong for the children of America as well as the women. And what is going on is how people are jumping into this narrative. And again, as I said, maybe some people do deserve this, but maybe some people don't. And I don't even see how the transgender qualifies with a penis to become, Miss USA. And what is this guy, I'm not going to, hey, look, if this person walked past me in a nightclub, I might have turned my head. You got to be careful, more than careful out there, gentlemen and ladies to some, because you might be thinking you're hooking up with a beautiful young lady. You're into that thing, whatever. I'm not going to judge anybody. It's been going on forever. I grew up through it. I know it's there. It exists. It's just the part where they throw the things in our face and they try to teach the young all this stuff, like with the cartoons and everything. Now the cartoons are talking about to the children in classrooms and what is to come on self-masturbation and more. And it is much more and much more deeper and complex than that. But to finish up with this multi-sexual things and where we're at with this, it's just ironic where we are, because to be honest with you, a lot of these people are dressing up for some statement for them to say to us, like, hey, notice me. I'm not going to look at you. If I looked at you and shook my head and kept walking, it's because you're looking kind of abnormal. I get you're trying to make a statement and you have the need to be noticed by people. Well, I'm not the type of guy, and many are going to be like me, who could care less about how you dress, how you do your hair, and what your lifestyle is. So, the only thing I can say is you're not going to get any validation from me. And I'm not the fool that's going to give you one, because you're the one that's looking pretty stupid to me. And again, I'm not against you. I'm not against you. And I'm not saying at some point, had this all been done maybe different, it would be more of an element we get used to. And, we just see you as you tell your kids, well, they're a little bit different and they live in a little bit different of a world with different ideas that fit their lifestyle. And you can slowly break it to your child. But with what we're seeing right now being slammed in our face, we can't even prepare our children for this, and yet they're teaching it in school. The ideologies of drag queens reading storybook queer voices readings, and that's what they are. Everything has to be gentle and feminized, okay? I mean, if you really think about it. I never seen so many grown men pussies out there, but that's where we are, and that's what we have. And I know a lot of women are just not totally into that, and some may be. That's good for you guys. It's not good for us, and we have that right for that opinion. But to me, when I look at it, I'm sorry. If you look like an idiot, I'm going to call you an idiot, okay? But evidently, it's a validation thing. It's social anxiety, or it's just you flip that because for some reason the closet door opened. You think the world's calling you all out here. Well, this guy ain't going to do it. No. Live your lives the best you can, just as we will on the other side who opposes it. All right. So that said, be strong for the children and what they're trying to push on everybody that way, because it's not right. It really isn't. Self-pleasures in schools, and not only that, and it was even talked about, I think, with Hannity. This part's kind of hard, but they want to show torture porn for some particular reason. 14,000 school districts. Yes, it's been approved for them to start this and facilitating this structure. And you may just want to keep your children and homeschool them. You may just want to keep them home at this point. Stop paying your school taxes. If they're not going to teach proper ethics and morals and keep things with equal substance, then you don't deserve the money. And I say that to you at the highest levels of the government. You don't deserve our tax dollars. Send your own children there, which you won't, but do it. And I hope you have enough children to fill the schools, because I foresee them to slowly dwindle, just like the Catholic diocese has. And we know that they know all about this and much more. All right, so climate again. I'm just going to bring this up. I'm going to do it for a different reason, because I think they could spray anything on us, like the American and Delta variant. But it's true. You know, they have technology down for so many years. They're just breaking it to you now, like it happened yesterday. They have been pounding us with this shit and these skies and ugliness for years now, and they truly have. And they're ready to do it even more. But here's my issue to that. When it comes to the pollution levels, they don't want to talk about them anymore fairly. It's another off-topic issue that we have in America. They don't want to admit. Just like the VAX, they don't want to admit what's in it. What do you know? Well, we're not going to tell you. It's kind of a secret. And remember, Joe whispers about secrets. You know, he might make the mistake one day where we learn about it. But what we can do on that part is keep a watchful eye and hope that our people, good people in the medical fields, keep standing strong, don't get bothered, and can help us get through this and somehow get it turned over to the proper military people and the proper courts to facilitate against the crimes of humanity about this, because it seems that's what we have. The numbers are so large, it's pathetic. If you count all the years, all the diseases and everything else that has slammed the United States in the face, it is nowhere near. This number is absorbently huge of effects and deaths. And yet they say no, and yet they say we want your child. No different to me on how this is occurring. But the possibility that is some type of an aerosol release as they use in the skies, it could very well be where and what we should be looking further into. So with that said, I hope I brought you up to date on some of that stuff there. But one of the other things that aggravates me about this whole global catastrophe of lies of the climate is the fact that the best in the world have come out and said this is all just plain bullshit. And I agree. I've been watching it for years. I'm not new to this. No, this isn't my first rodeo by any means. I knew what the inside of these ships looked like for years and so forth, and I know where they were located and who was doing the work, who the outside contractors for the military were, as well as our own military in some ways. But here's the doom and gloom picture to all this sun and dim process under the Gates China Foundations who want this to go larger. It's our infrastructure. It's not set up to take all these poundings of rains. Our own gutter systems on our house. You're getting over porrages. You're getting problems now in foundations. You're getting mold and more. And mold is not anything good for you, whether it's indoor or outdoor. It's going to be there. If you got moss growing, and many of us do in Pennsylvania now, I can speak for that right here, higher humidity, tropical-like connability zones, you're going to have mold. Because the thing about some of those other areas, like in Florida, or if you go over to the Bahamas, where they have higher tropic atmospheres that, you can radiate storms like that. They can come up like that. But what we're getting here is just an absorbent amount. And the infrastructure is not even set up for it. You have trees falling everywhere, taking down power lines. Now they're making comments, which I said would happen. But they're making comments to where we need to move all power lines and resource everything underground. Why? Because other states learned that was important. Now, the thing is this. We need it here. But we need what they're doing to stop more than anything. But in the meantime, we need to fix our own infrastructure in much bigger ways that is not even on the table of the green. You know, I mean, if you want to talk about the table of the green and why you can't get computer chips for new cars, it's because they want to be able to control your car totally. If they want you to be able to stop wherever they want you, they're trying to use these new chips and use new intelligence in them to make your car shut off. And it doesn't matter. You can be in the middle of an intersection, and if they just hit this button, your car's going to stop. It's going to stop. Yeah, it might not put you in the best predicament, but that's part of the other issue of why we run into all these areas and narratives of what we're running into. It is all against the people right now. All these executive orders and reverse executive orders that Trump established and put America first. It's America last, as we know. And that comes from all our fabulous people up in Nancy Land and the new Black House. So, anyway, I'll move on a little bit further here. Seizing now, seizing. Border, Texas, California, Arizona. Fentanyl. And it's coming in hugely enough to kill the numbers of the United States citizenships. How do you like that? And not only that, supposedly in California, huge bust just went down at $1.19 billion price, street priced. Now, I don't know how they're street pricing it because many areas are really cheap for marijuana these days. They really are. You know, it's back to like the old 60s and 70 days in some areas. It's so plentiful. People aren't even going into the medical supply houses anymore, warehouses. That was a nice fad, but, you know, they still want to push it because the drug dealers and the cartels want to make their money. They don't want to be left out of this, and they're telling the government it because the government's always had their hand in it. Get our stuff out there. So it's making its way here, but we were lucky enough to succeed and sieging this huge amount of marijuana that was making its way in, as well as a lot of weight of fentanyl that's coming as far away as China. Imagine how that's happening, but it is happening. And not only that, something of a bigger issue, and we know about the OxyContin importance and the matter that we're going on about that. I think it's called the Sackler family. Maybe it's Sackler if you look it up. They were one of the rich people in the pharma and on the OxyContin push that was taking all the lives in America in many, many ways. Okay, it wasn't just, you know, the big H heroin factor. It was OxyContin and more. These kids were dying, and they were mixing Xanax with it, and I lost friends myself that way. You know, you fall into this concentrated sleep. You can throw up in your sleep, die on your own vomit. And yeah, and it's happened to many. It's happened to many, and we know that that's true. But anyway, they're going to throw in another 50 mil just so they want to show the integrity of their family name, that what they did was for all good and not bad. And they're kind of sorry that this got out of control, although they had a field day collecting the money on this all going out of control. But again, pharma must always win, and we know that. And I hope the hell at some point when this is over, we can remove all these executives and owners of the big pharma and take it over for the good of America. And we, the people, control the pharma and the healthcare systems. So we are treated properly with every ounce of technology and healthcare that can cure anything that is available to us. We need redemption. We need to take this back and control it ourselves. So, when you get into redemption, I brought up something earlier in the week, and on Fridays, you know I bring it back up if it's the case matters. So, redemption, yeah. So many people feel that they're owed, but they don't look at the reality of what they were paid already. In the 1960s, we started keeping records, cultures in different places in America, and I won't finger point at anything in particular, but I'll let your mind wander on it. Let's think about this for 1 minute. Since the late 1960s, $2.2 trillion was just given away of your tax-earned money to support many. I think we played a good part in support to the system of what was needed, what the government thought was a sounded, secure way to take care of people, because there was not enough jobs. We get that there was not enough jobs. It wasn't that anyone was being suppressed. No. If you wanted to do more, you had the abilities, you went out and did it. I mean, we had a fabulous all-black baseball team, the Pittsburgh Braves, up here. West Homestead area, the Braves. Worldwide known, highly collectible artifacts and items from the baseball team. If you have something by them, it's worth some money. Although in today's world, things are changing. But again, just keep in mind that what I was saying, that these people have donated an additional $50 million to strike a deal where they can no longer be pushed. so they don't lose their fortunes. But anyway, so here, I got into a whole different kind of like topic there and whatnot. But the truth of the matter is, we've given a lot of money away. We really have. We've done our part, and the part still exists. And I watched the Ed Sullivan show the other night, or last night, and I watched the Supremes with the Temptations doing duets of each other's song. And we're talking about an all-white crowd, okay? We're talking about, the biggest shoe on earth, show at the time. And the people loved these people. They were rock stars in their own way with their own music, and still people loved the Temptations. And their biggest crowds, in many ways, are still people of the color, not being less white, but being who they are, naturally white. They were the mega supporters to many of these groups along their way. And it was nice to see that there was no suppression to these people. They were up there rock starring it on, and you could see that there was joy in what they were doing, because it was like a life dream to them to do this. And they did a great job. It was a fabulous 5-minute clip. If you can catch it on YouTube, check it out. And there was even more that I saw. Many other black people and actors and singers and whatnot. I just happened to come across this particular thing. I don't know why, but to me it was an enlightenment that we had a good world. We were doing things right. Things were changing. America was becoming a better America. Trump was leading the way for it to get even stronger. And it was bound to become more bountiful for everybody in many ways, because an infrastructure done properly, and when you're making America great and you're creating jobs, you're actually creating jobs. These millions of jobs come forth. They're not put there by Joe. No, not by any means. No, when Joe got into office, he just demanded a lot of states to the governors were like, hey, look, this is how it's going to be. You're going to keep it shut down. You're going to make it look bad. And then you're going to make me look good when I open it up. And I'm going to take all the credit. And that's exactly what he's done. His predecessor had established everything. Like Trump said, Joe, all you had to do was go to the beach. But Joe chose not to go to the beach. And now he's bringing it to your door. Remember what I said. Protect yourself. We don't know why they're actually knocking on the door. Don't let this kind of ideology that it's all about a vax be the only reason they could be coming. Stay smart and diligent to all of it. All right, a little bit further down here, I got a few more things before I end that tonight, and I want to thank you again. I am Michael Anthony. This is 10 O'Clock Talks, and we are just part of the new Studio 10 broadcasting system here coming out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So thank you very much for that. And sometimes we come out and we create through Miami as well, and Orlando through the Florida panhandle there. So keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. And let me see. I got a couple other things I want to talk with you guys about. But again, I hope you guys had a great day. And if you want to make or leave any comments to anything that I do, please do it wherever it's posted. Or you can get me direct through 10o'clocktalks@gmail.com. You could also find a large archive of all my videos and so forth. And the Voice of America, my voice for you, because you are the true voice. I'm only sharing what you guys have shared with me. And that's where I bring it forth. I put it into a narrative, and I try to resource it back out to you. I also want to tell you about this. The governor down in Missouri, Mike Parson, he's not in favor of these federal workers, because that's part of this knock on the door program. It will be federal workers. To what degree and their classification of who they are when they come to the door, that's why I want you to be careful. And the governor down there is giving us a fair warning on, and he's not for this, and he doesn't agree with it. And I'm saying to you, this is a warning. This is a possible bad warning, so keep it in mind. All right. Step up a little bit further here. I got a few more things I can go over. If you're still hanging with me, and I'm hoping the hell you are. Well, I know we got some things I'm going to be bringing up next week. I'm not quite done with them, so I'll just give you a little infrastructure on my deal here. The CCP and the Vatican are partnering for freedom. They're using a partnership platform in a way to try to create an ideology of freedom of what's to come and how it will be good for you. Yeah, Not so sure why these people were still breathing God's air. And also, let's not forget the unaccompanied children numbers are still rising. That's not an issue that's gone away. We could talk about a lot of things gone away, like John Podesta. Where the hell's John Podesta? Uh huh. I thought so. Think about that one. Think about that. I can name 15 or 20 off the top of my head, but I'm not going in that narrative, but it's going to be for next week. We're going to talk some stuff, some serious shit on that part. Because why? You need to know. But think about it. He was a big name. He was out almost every day. But yet he is no longer, nor his brother. So think about those. Think about that. And this great American rescue embarrassment that we have been served under this new mafia-tized black house up in Washington, D.C. All right. From what I found out, some of the underground dictators of the war and search and rescue missions are still continuing. We're still hearing about what people believe actually are earthquakes. And from what I'm gathering on what I've been able to find through different military releases, military news channels, and more, I can't say everything. And just some really good people with good backbone who have been in this for much longer than me on the political end of it, are sharing now that there are still undergoing issues in many countries connected, all with pedophilia and more, and drugs. I mean, the list is astronomical if you really want to get into it. And they partnered up and they took down like an additional 400,000 of these acquaintances. So the numbers are rising, the indictments are growing because these people cried like little cheap babies when it comes to the fact that they are going to be dealt with. And just coming across, I'll say this just for PA, Pennsylvania people, I'm getting a child Amber alert that has just popped up on screen. I think it's always important. And what it is saying is the Pennsylvania State Police have issued an child abduction alert for the New Jersey State Police. They are searching for a Sebastian Rios and a 2-year-old, and he stands 3'5" and the father, and 47 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. He answers by the name Sebastian. Also, his mother is Yezam Yafa. Okay. All right. I almost sounds like illegal here, but I'm not saying that. So supposedly there's a little bit of a operation that stemmed back from 2018. I'm sorry, operating in 2018. It's just coming through as I'm reading it. I should wait for the sentence to finish. Operating a 2018 silver Ford Fiesta with a New Jersey temp tag of W421713. W421713. So it's a child Amber alert that's going out from New Jersey State Police and Pennsylvania State Police for a child who has been abducted, and he's 2 years old, 3'5", 47 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes, answers by the name Sebastian. I apologize to you guys, but when it comes up like that, and it was something that just showed up out of the blue, and I thought I'd share it with you because it's a child, and every child matters. Not sure if, they're not saying what culture or anything like that. It could be Hispanic, anything with Yafa, I think is the name. It could be. I'm not sure. If you see anything suspicious or you come across that plate number, please call your state police immediately. I'm sure you could be really doing something good for a child, and that's all that's really important. So if you don't think there's any control left in America, you're not alone. And they're out to steal more. And I know more is going to come. It was a kickoff between the 4th and the 5th. All these kickoffs were coming, and this whole week has been disastrous of everything that we learned and more. So keep that in mind. Let me see where else I have here that I was going, because I did have some late in the evening notes that I made. Well, not early this evening notes that I made. Just reading here. I'm with you. So I need to answer somebody a question. His name was Jeff Smith. I guess it was pointed at people that are conspiracists. Well, I am a conspiracy theorist in many ways, and I need to ask you this. What are we living in? Has this not all been conspired against us? It's been a big and huge, and it continues to be a conspiracy. There's no truth here. There's never an answer to what they do wrong. Everything they do is right. The truth is a lie, and the lie is the truth. That is their narrative and their perspective. To me, that equals conspiracy. So I wanted to mention that to Mr. Jeff Smith. And maybe I should ask you this, Jeff. Did you hide your money and assets yet? You may want to do that. We are just living in that type of world. We don't know where our money's going to be good, gone, a reset's going to kill it. We don't know. I think we've been holding on, by the thread of our seat in many ways with a lot of issues. And whatever Trump did to isolate things from getting worse before he left, I think he did a lot of homework there to try to protect the American people. As he said, I stand between them and you, and we stand between him and them. We're in the middle here. We need to do our part and stay strong for America, because we will make America great again as long as we have somebody who knows how to facilitate this stuff. He's learned the last 4 years. He knows how to come back like a rock star. Trump 2021. I'll say it like that. The possibility may really exist under what I know of the laws, and that I've been able to find out by people, scholars of law and so forth. All some are in a different narrative, and they'll fight the other end and oppose that I'm wrong here. But the truth is, it is said, an election can become null and void if it is proven outside interference. And I think they already have their proof. Are they already taking steps? Is this August 13th date real? I'm not going to give a date. I don't feel a date is an adequate way to go to the American people. I think it would be a lie to tell you a date. But I will say Michael August 3rd. It means something. You look into that, keep track of what Donald J. Trump says, and maybe you'll figure out a little bit more on that part of it. Okay. I have a lot of different things here. I didn't realize I was so far behind and so far ahead in time. Yeah, I really am. Amazing, Michael. Amazing. Fuel's going to go up. It's going to be the 7-year high, as they're saying. So you could be paying up to $1.70 in some states higher. The air quality, I went over you with the doom and gloom thing, so I did that. I said hello to the biker people. We got to say hi to them. But the truth of the biker thing, too, and the power source, if you ask any of these idiots while they're changing over, do you know it's more costly to change over and use coal to create energy than it is to just put gasoline in a car and get oil out of a pipeline? We're going to be double downing on all our prices. They're even going to go up higher. It's going to happen. Just keep that in mind. But remember the one nice thing about the Keystone Pipeline. They have a $15 billion lawsuit now with many states involved. And it's about to get really ugly. It's about to get ugly. But, they had their path. They chose it. And this is why people are leaving the White House. The workers in the White House, closest to Harris and Biden, are leaving or are in fear of even going near them because maybe, for one, they didn't vote for this. And two, they don't like what they're hearing. They don't want to be a party to it. And three, maybe someone's just an ignorant bitch. And that's what they're saying. And nobody wants to work by her. So that goes for both accountabilities on both ends here. So keep that in mind. All right. The racist cards and why? Yeah, the racist card thing. That's still here. Bet ya why you voted for the black president, though. There wasn't no issue with that. Where was the racism when the white people, the majority of the vote, think about it. It's true. The majority of the vote in the United States voted in a black president. Not just once. And we're racist, but twice. And that makes us even more racist. How do you feel about that? Anyway, I had to say it. The truth is the truth. And, if there was such a concern for black people with a black president, why didn't he do anything for the people? And I bring that up because people have brought it up in that little post tag that's on Facebook all the time. that Obama had the time to, and the truth is, that is the truth. Why didn't he do something about that? But I'm going to put it out there is, all right, let's play the race card here. Why did white people vote in a black president? That's my narrative of it. You can like it or dislike me. It doesn't matter. It is true. We did support a black president. He didn't do much good for the American people, though. He did not bring us back to any resolution of anything good. We had the lowest employment in years. And again, we only saw light when Donald J. Trump came in. Don't forget that part. They are just living on the establishment of Trump and what he created in America for us. And that's why we must stand strong between them and us for him. We must stand in the middle now as he stood in the middle for us. All right. Then you have Trump and DeSantis. That came up as a question to me, and I want to answer it back to somebody. I saw a light to that. I really thought that there was a possibility. Maybe DeSantis wants to stay down in Florida. Maybe he's really happy with his roots here. And I can understand that. But it does seem to have a little bit of a separation of vibe there. Agree to disagree? I don't know. I'm just calling it the way I got feel it on that, and I wanted to bring that up. Also, I didn't get his name. I was in the passing. It was fast. I heard it come up on news and on my radio. I usually listen to the old-fashioned AM dials during the day sometimes if I'm going in and out of the truck while I'm working. And they made statement that a Kentucky state senator did die. I don't know if he was Republican or Democrat, but somebody down there passed away, so I'm sure a seat's going to open. Stay diligent to that. If you know somebody qualified or even non-qualified, get them in the race. Let's see what we can do to fill that seat with what we need to empower the entire American Republic. And that's what it's about. If we take out the smalls, Donald J. Trump will take out the top. And that's what's going on. And we're getting stronger every day by sticking to that analogy and grassroots. They're very, very important. Also, check this out. I think his name is, I'm thinking in my mind now, I'm not looking down at notes. Michael, was it Michael? Yeah, Michael Aventa? I don't know. He got 2.5 years in prison over an indictment. He once was the attorney for Stormy Daniels. Backfire, something. But isn't it wonderful how the system can work for you? When you stay in the light, you stay on the good side, and you stay in the fight. I don't know what this was all about. I didn't really get into it. I caught a fragment of what was going on, and I wrote down some notes. They're not in front of me, or I wish they were, so I can't really describe to you what the charge was. I'm not sure if it had something to do with... I'm not even going to say, because I don't want to be wrong. But yes, 2.5 years in prison he will now face, and he once was the attorney that... gay push against Donald J. Trump. So he's got to serve 2.5 years. And Stormy Daniels, look for a new attorney. Atlanta, Georgia, GOP lawmaker resigns. Why did he resign? Well, this is pretty interesting. It seems that he was indicted over a hit and run that he unlawfully hid things and didn't do the right things. And so he decided to step down and face the consequences. And hey, look at this. This is happening everywhere. We have these small hidden issues popping up everywhere. Somebody is letting the cat out of the bag on many things. So I see America proceeding forward in a good way. It's just going to take a while to get there. And there is going to be no rush for a cure. There isn't. We're going to need all these states to stay active and keep fighting the fight in the forensics and more. We need to stay strong there. So I hope you do that with me and join in. Don't forget, I am Michael Anthony at 10 O'Clock Talks. This is the Studio 10 broadcasting production now. So please stay with us as often as you can. Join in. There's a couple other podcasts that I do go on. You'll be able to hear me there or check out my YouTube archives and more. Please do that. I'd appreciate it. Keep in mind these schools and how you can help. Vote these people out. Object to what they want to teach your children. Stop paying these school taxes. Put it into an escrow account. Protect yourself. But don't give it to them. Don't give them the right to choose how to dictate an education to your child. Not their way. It's not a good way. All right, so we went through the governorship of what I just said. We went through climate. I'm looking like I hit a lot of the stuff pretty good for you guys tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I really do. I'd like to say this by leaving with you. I enjoy doing what I do. I enjoy being the voice for the people all around America and the globe. I'll say whatever is necessary. Also, the Blaze Grill. If you get down there to Bridgeville, please stop in, join them. If you need any insulation work, please look up our friends up at Steel City Insulation. John and Vicky, beautiful Vicky, will always help you out. Just a bright, beautiful, precious, next door kind of girl. Wow, that had to come out right at some point. But no, please do that. Check in with these people. They're really fabulous. Also, ladies, if you need your hair done in any way or a dress made, see Eva. I do everything by Eva. If you need your hair done with extensions, this chick is classy. I mean, she's been Paris and all them places. I mean, she knows the best of the best. If you're looking for extensions, you're going to be married, you're going to have a wedding, whatever, please check out Miss Lindsay up at Salon Atmosphere. And hello to you, Mike, up there as well. So, call it a night for July 9th. Thank you for joining again. I do appreciate you guys ever so much. And please stay with me through the 30 days of darkness. I will come on in a light that will shine. I promise. Don't judge me. I won't judge you. Beth, I hope you had a great night. Congratulations again. Everyone take care. Dave, I'll be seeing you shortly.